Hey, this is SJD from Isapps, and in this tutorial I'm going to be talking about the relative layout basics in Android. Now this is a layout that is very often used in Android application development, and that is because it can hold many child views within it and which can be arranged relative to each other. So let's see how it actually works. So I have a text view right here in the project, nothing else. So let me go to the XML part and see what we have got. We have a relative layout as a root element and a text view. So the text view is appearing as you have just seen right at the top of the screen, which is its default position. Now what if we wanted to specify some attribute for the text view so that it appears accordingly? Now I want the text view to appear right at the bottom of the screen. In order to do that, I can use a simple attribute called align parent button and set it to true. Now the button should be appearing right at the bottom of the screen. Now this is the text view, it is now appearing right at the bottom of the screen. Now let me go to the XML part again. So let me change this attribute to something like center in parent. So this is gonna make the view appear right at the center of its parent. Let me get rid of this line. The parent is in this case the relative layout, and I can use the attribute center in parent for the text view, and I just need to set it to true. Go to the graphical view. Now as you can see, the text is appearing right at the center of the screen. Center in parent is true. Now what if we wanted this text view should be appearing relative to some other views? So let me create a button here, layout width of wrap content, and same for the height as well, and some text for the button. And I want this button should appear right below the text view, and because we are into the relative layout, I can use an attribute called layout below. You can hit Ctrl space to see the templates. So layout below. Now I need to give the specific ID of the view which I am trying to relate to. I want the button should appear below the text view, so I need to give the specific ID of the text view. Control space at plus ID view1. Now the button should be appearing below the text view right here. It is appearing below the text view. And let me show you some other stuff in the relative layout. Center horizontal. If I set this attribute to true, the button should be appearing horizontally centered in its parent. Now you can see it is appearing horizontally centered in its parent. Similarly, we can achieve the result like layout above, and we can give the same ID. Now the button is appearing right above the text view. Well, we can use the same attributes in the text view as well. Let me show you that. Let me get rid of this layout center in parent to true. Now let me show you some other stuff like to the right of the button. Now I want this text view to appear to the right of the button. So I need to give the specific ID of the button. I don't have an ID, so let me create that. ID at plus ID bt1. Save the project. Let me get rid of this above statement because it is going to be contradictory. So I need to now give the ID of the button, which is bt1. Let's see the graphical view, and the text is now appearing right at the bottom, right at the right side of the button, because I set the center horizontal to true. The button is appearing right at the center of the screen horizontally. Now see what's happening. It is now appearing. The text view is to the right of the button, and this is how I am relating the different views in XML in a relative layout, to the right, above, below. And I can use the gravity as well. Let me get rid of this line. Let me show you the gravity. Now if I use a gravity in our root relative layout and change it to center, the text view, Ctrl Shift F to format the stuff, the text view should appear right at the center of the screen, right here. And this is how we can make the most of the relative layout and build a very good interface for our application. And this is it for the basics of the relative layout.